Okay then, here we go. Today's the day. I've just been out and about to pick up my lovely new Dell 22-inch monitor. So we're going to unbox this beast and see what it can do. See if it's any good basically. It's one of the cheaper ones of the range, but it has some good reviews. Did a bit of homework before purchasing it. I did have another one a few weeks back, but exchange that now for this new one. So we're going to pick up on the Dell 22 monitor. This is the beast. This is it. This is how it looks in the box. Lovely jubbly. Gives you a bit of info there. Probably can't see that too clearly, but have a look online. We find out the specs regarding this monitor. Let's try a bit of a better view. Anyway, display features is a 21.5 inch display, full HD resolution with 178 by 178 degree wide viewing angle, rich sound with 2x 3 watt integrated speakers. Supports VGA, HDMI, audio in and audio out. So there you go, that's pretty much what it tells you on the box. I'm quite impressed with the viewing width. That sounds pretty good. 178 degrees by 178 degrees, which I haven't seen on many of the monitors I've used in the past. Not entirely sure what type of panel it uses. Not totally sure. I know it's a LCD screen with a backlit LED. This is sometimes people get a bit confused when they hear the term LED screen, whereas generally what that means is that the screen is actually still probably LCD, but it's backlit by an LED rather than the traditional method, which generally finds gives you a bit of a brighter picture, but you can always adjust it down if it's too bright, but it's nice to have a bit of overhead. Anyway, without further ado, let me introduce to you the Dell 22 monitor. Its actual title, its proper name, by the looks of it down here on the bottom, is the S2216H. So that's S2216H. There you go, that's it, that's its name, that's its official name, but when you look quick it just says Dell 22 monitor, blah 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 blah. So let's whip it round again and we'll snip the tape and I'll get back. I like to do these videos just in case I do for any reason need to take it back to the shop and want to remember how it was packaged, because it's often a bit of a maze trying to get these things back into the packaging quite often once you've taken them out. So I think it's a good idea now, especially with technology as it is, to take a few snapshots or preferably a video of how something went together if you're taking something apart, and also if you're unpacking something, how it all goes back in the box again. So here we go. Okay, so this appears to be it. We have now opened the box. I should remember to put the box on its side of where it is now, rather than trying to open it stood up as in the previous shots. Hence everything had fallen out the box, but there you go, live and learn. That's what it's all about. Okay, what do we got here then? Well, we got our little treasure trove of bits and pieces, all nicely wrapped up. We have a cable. What do we got here then? This looks very much like the HDMI cable. Very nice, looks pretty decent quality, fairly thick, heavy duty cable. Sometimes I've seen these type of cables, HDMIs, and they're very thin and flimsy looking. This looks to be pretty decent, should reach quite nicely from my desk down to the computer which sits beneath. lovely jubbly. There you go. So that's one HDMI lead, complete with HDMI leads. So it's always good when you get the appropriate cables with things. It's quite frequently you don't. You find you've got to purchase an HDMI lead separately, and they're not particularly cheap if you want a decent one. There's some cheap ones about that are made of monkey metal that you're just asking for problems if you buy them. Really, some of these cheap shops sell them, you know, Poundland and places like that, but personally I'd stay well clear of them. I've had issues. There you go. Right, so that's a good quality HDMI by the looks of it. Also, of course, with this monitor, it's something that I've noticed on the newer Dells. Have to bear in mind, because this is new for me now, that unlike the traditional style kettle leads which most monitors used to have, built-in power supply effectively, this has its separate power supply. As a power brick, I guess they call it, power brick. So you have a separate power plug, probably much like you would on your laptop. And you have a separate power pack for it. Let's get it out of its bag. Just have a quick look at that. Okay, so got a standard British plug, which is good. Sometimes you find, again, stuff you're buying online, things you buy, they come with the weird and wonderful different shapes of plugs, which you then find is no good, which I did last week. Unfortunately, I bought a very cheap item, to be honest, off the net, and it came with some sort of weird Chinese looking plug and a very poor cable and adapter. Moving on, we have another cable. Let's have a look what we got here. This is a pretty heavy looking duty cable. It's a nice, made in China, courses and everything these days. Okay, it's a nice 3-pin. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. What we got here? No, that's a worry. But anyway, moving on. I was just saying that. Can't believe it. Let's hope we've got a British one in here somewhere. I'm digging deeper. Let's see what we can find. Right, this is no good to me really, I don't think I've got anything that I can use to connect this with. Not sure if that's a Continental or American. Sometimes they're a little bit different. The pins are a bit wider on some of them, they're a bit wider apart. But that's what you get with it, so beware. Unless, of course, there is another pack somewhere in the box. For now, we'll move on. I have got lots of these leads kicking about at home, so it's not a deal breaker, but there you go. One would think for the British market they would include a British plug. Unless this is a foreign knockoff, of course. You never know these days, do you? So much fake stuff on the market. You know, knockoff stuff from other countries that's not perhaps suitable for UK markets. Maybe not so tightly approved when it comes to safety. CE marks, that's what it's all about. Anyway, let's see what else we got. We've got something wrapped up here quite tightly. Let me whip that out. Oh, that's the back support for the stand. Okay, that's all pretty standard stuff. One end plugs into the base, the other end plugs into the monitor. Nice and silvery with a black centre. Very good. Okay. And next, what have we got next then? So I'm trying to do this all one-handed and hold the camera at the same time. So I haven't got the tripod set up. It's all a bit faffy. Okay, so we have, looks like a manual, which I won't go into too much detail. A manual's a manual, bit of info probably, how to do it, probably a warranty card, usual sort of stuff, and a disc, which is drivers and documentation. Oh, I don't normally find you get them with monitors. Generally it's only with computers, but generally a monitor, you plug it in and away you go. But it could be interesting to have a look what's on there. Could just be documentation, which should be fine, or colour profiles possibly. Of course, that's the other thing. Anyway, that looks good. No problem with that. We'll sort that out in a minute. A few instructions on how to set it up. There's, you've got a reasonable amount of information there. I'm still looking for that mains plug though. Still looking for that British plug. Okay, this is the base. This is the base, obviously. This is the base. Silver base, silver base. The other one had a black base. Silver base, yes, okay. Black, silver, not got a problem with that. Monitor's black, base is silver. Looks reasonably good though, quite good quality. Just be careful when you put it together, because if you do need to take it apart, it's a bit difficult to get the clip undone again from the monitor end. This end here, this metal bracket, fits nice and snug and tight into the back of the monitor, so make a note possibly, which is what I didn't do last time I bought myself a Dell, and when I needed to take it off I couldn't get it back off, so I had to go with it. So it's clips in. I don't know if they are supposed to come back out, but you'll find it probably latches in and you might struggle to get it back out, so just beware. Okay, so we've pretty much stripped the top section of the box, and let's whip that out then and see what's underneath. The screen itself. Whoa. Okay, comes fairly nicely wrapped. Got some white stuff on there, white packing, with some clingy film on the back as well. Okay. Well, I have to say, I'm quite impressed with the picture quality. I really wasn't expecting very much from this cheap end monitor, budget price, but actually it's pretty damn good. Looking good, looking good. Yes, I can't complain at all about the quality from this one. Even the viewing angle looks quite good. You can move from the side. Very little deterioration in the picture quality. Currently using the built-in sound from the monitor, built-in speakers, which is good. For a monitor speaker, it's not bad at all. Much better than some monitors I've used in the past. If you want thumping bass, get some big speakers, put it through your hi-fi, get a sound bar. But for general purpose audio, and a very good surround sound effect, in fact, as one is sat directly in front of the screen. Forgive the quality of the white balance. This is due to the camera I'm currently using, not the screen itself. had some issues with the white balance on this camera. It's on the auto setting at the moment, default. So we'll leave it at that for the moment. But I can say the picture on the screen of the computer itself is certainly better than what you're probably seeing here. Yes, I am suitably impressed. I've bought a few monitors in the past, not been happy, taking them back. Not the Dell ones, but other mates. This is nice. The previous monitor was an Acer, which I'd purchased to replace an old ancient Acer. It wasn't as good. They don't build them like they used to. Had a very annoying bright violet light which shone out from the control panel, between the buttons in fact as well, which was very, very distracting during the darkened evenings, even often in the day. This Dell has a nice little white glow which is not too distracting. Also can be switched off if you want to. The preset modes work very well as well. The multimedia, the gaming mode. This is on standard at the moment. We can change it to multimedia, which gives a very good reproduction. And there you have it. I have no issues with this and intend to keep it. Before I go, let me just give you a colour test, pattern test. Okay folks, I'm going to try and hold the camera whilst at the same time scrolling through the video tests. So this is a nice, clear, bright, standard monitor tests pattern. There are limitations to the reproduction of this camera, of course, which one has to always bear in mind when actually directly filming the screen of a computer. Nice, sharp, nice and bright, good colours, good blacks especially. That's something that did impress me. I've noticed on Windows 10 there was a setting called transparency. I've switched that off now, and that has certainly improved the picture quality. So if you are running Windows 10, go into your monitor settings, your graphics settings, and turn off transparency. That's terrible. It makes the blacks look washed out and almost transparent, which I guess is the name of the game, but I don't like that. If you want good blacks, turn off your transparency. I don't really know why they put it on there, but it might suit some. Okay, moving on.